Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and in sincerity. And I want to get into the topic of, basically everyone is, getting into their positions or, standing in their lots in the last days. And we kind of went over this topic during previous camp. Me and the brothers was just talking about how, everybody's in their lot doing the same things that they did, before, and that the prophets, basically are prophesying as they once did, in their past lives. And so is, the people, that are going about their everyday lives there and doing the exact same things that they did then. And, I'd had a relative that had passed away, over the week, and I ended up going to their the celebration or whatever it is you want to call it after the funeral. And I seen a whole bunch of people that I grew up with, family members that I haven't seen in years, and they were all grown up. And I couldn't help but just to think to myself that, out of all these people, the Lord, called me. He called me to be a prophet, and I have a, opportunity to be chosen, amongst all these people that are on the face of the earth. And that's just something that I've been meditating on, and just something that's been on my mind, and I just thought about to make it a video. How much of a privilege it is, to be a part of the truth. So I just want to get a few scriptures. I don't want to make it too long. I just want to get, straight to the point. And, Lord willing, to be edifying to whoever may be listening. All right. So let me cut out this background noise real quick. Hold on. So let me start here. This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4. And it says, "Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." So, I never thought that, I would be, a prophet of the Lord, teaching the Bible, reading the Bible. I never thought that. I always, believed that I was going to be a football player or, doing some type of mixed martial arts, because that's what I wanted to do in the world. That's what I was good at. So, that was my dreams in the world, and to, basically just live a regular life. I never thought that the Lord would call me, to do what I'm doing here today, which is reading the Bible and teaching and being a teacher, and, being amongst, men of the Lord, So, yeah, I never thought that. But the Lord, as the scriptures say here, he, ordained us, to be prophets. He set us up. He put it within our minds, to pursue, the scriptures, pursue being the prophet, a man of the Lord, and doing his will. And that's what the men of the Lord are basically going to be doing in the last days. All right, they're going to be, following their lots, doing what they're doing, and, basically, the people in the world or the people that I grew up with, they got jobs, they're doing their things, whether it be they're in the oil field, whether it be that they're, trying to be a rapper, drug dealer, RN, doctor, lawyer, all these different things, and live here in Babylon and, just basically try to have a stable life. The Lord has took us out, all right, of that mind frame and gave us this true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what's really actually going on, out of all these people. He chose us, So this here is Jeremiah 3:14. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you. So the Lord's saying, look, turn back from your ways, turn back, cut off yourself from the world. All right, come back to me, because the Lord has likened us, all right, the 12 tribes of Israel, unto his woman. So the Lord's saying, look, come and follow my law, statutes, and commandments. Come back to your traditions. Come back to your true power. It says, and I take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. So the Lord, is basically, picking men, all right, out of these different regions and waking them up, planting the seed. All right. The word is being planted through what? The unicorn, the World Wide Web. Okay. The internet. And it's planting that seed, and the seed is growing. And men is growing through the spirit. All right. They're they're growing upon that solid foundation, which is Yahweh Shai, which is the word. Okay, through our elders and through the elders and the apostles and other brethren, all right, that's underneath them. So we're growing, all right, like the scriptures say, and it says that out of 1,000 women I have not found one, but out of 1,000 men I have found one righteous man. So that just goes to show you the ratio, okay, of the elect. One out of 1,000 men, you're gonna find the elect. But that just shows you how narrow this gate is, and how only one man can go at a time. So it's a privilege, to be a part of this. Okay, so let's go here, okay, to John chapter 15, verse 16, and it says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain. So the Lord said that I chose you. You didn't choose me, because a lot of people like to say, I chose the Lord. I woke up to the Lord. I woke up to being. No, the Lord has woken us up to him. He has given us the increase to be able to understand, all right, these scriptures, all right, his deep sayings. This is all from the Lord, not of us. And it says that you should go forth, Shalakia, that ye shall go and bring forth fruit. All right, the fruit are the other Israelites, waking them up, and that your fruit shall remain. So the foundation of which you teach is everything. That's the fundamentals. Everything that you teach a man in this truth is what's really going to help a man be grounded, and that it's going to help your fruit remain. And Great Millstone has a great example of a lot of fruit that have remained. because they stuck to what the things, the fundamentals, the things that keep, us grounded, So it says that whosoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. So, we ask the Lord to increase us in the word, increase us, in our weaknesses, and increase us in the things that we already know, to better understand. All right. It says, these things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So it says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Because, hey, some brothers was, black sheep of the family, man. The black sheep of the family, outcasts. But the Lord said, hey, man, don't even worry about that. You may have not fitted in, but it was never meant for you to fit into the world. You always try to fit in. You always try to be the nice guy. I know people always rejected you, but hey, if that was your case, then hey, that's okay, because they rejected Yahweh Shai. So, we have something that's what's in common with the Lord. All right. So it's set for us not to be a part of the world. It says, again, verse 18. This is John 15:18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. So if you was of the world would love you. You would get along with everybody. The world would get along with you. You'll be on the same vibration, as the world. But I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So the Lord has chosen, he has picked us out of this wicked and perverse world, and he's put us into the light, all right, of this truth. All right. So don't feel any type of way, because ultimately it's better to stand with the Lord and be judged by the world than to stand with the world and be judged by the Lord. I'll do that any day, stand with the Lord. All right. This is, let's see here. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 13. But go thou, it says, but go thou thy way till the end be. For thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the day. So, we are to stand firm to the end in our lot of being a prophet of the Lord till the end of days, man. Till, death do us part, as they say. But really, unto death, because, being with the Lord or serving the Lord, we'll never be departed from him. Even in death, we're with the Lord. Okay, so even in death, all right, even in dying for the Lord, okay, we're going to be joint heirs with the Lord, man. All right. So there's nothing to fear, because we're never going to be alone. All right. The Lord's always going to, basically fight for us. We're fighting for a cause. You're fighting for righteousness. You're dying for righteousness. All right. This is, let's see. This is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed be Yahweh and the Father of our Lord, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Mashiach. All right, so the Lord has blessed us with spiritual gifts, which is the understanding of the scriptures, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy which means to be separate, and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Mashiach Yahushai, to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So from the foundations of the earth being created, the Lord has chosen... Shalakiyakim, hold on one second. Shalakiyakim. I'm going to read that again. This is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundations of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua Mashiach to himself, according to all the good pleasure of his will. So again, from the foundations of the earth, all right, the Lord has chosen us, all right, to be a part of, all right, this building of the kingdom, which resides in us. All right, it resides within us, which is, all right, this truth. All right, the Lord has chosen and ordained and anointed us, all right, with, all right, this spirit, this truth, this gift, all right, to be prophets, all right. And the men of the Lord are what, basically, doing what they need to do in these last days, as a prophet would be, all right, making their calling and their election sure, all right. So this is of Sirach, all right, this is Sirach chapter 27, verse 9. It says, the birds will resort unto their like, so will truth return unto them that praise in her. All right. So again, the birds will resort unto their like, meaning that the men of the Lord are going to be prophesying, all right, again in the last days. All right. And everyone, all right, that were doing what they were doing in their past lives, all right, are going to be doing those exact same things in the last days. That's why it says in the scriptures, all right, let me grab it real quick. All right. Bear with me. This is Shalakia. I don't know why it's pulling up in another translation. All right, this is Matthew 24 and 37. And it says, but as the last days, it says, but as the last days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the last days that they were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, unto the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until that flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Again, Matthew 24 and 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage unto the day that Noah entered into the ark. So right now, all right, the men of the Lord are spiritually preparing their ark. All right, they're spiritually building their ark, which is, doing the work of the Lord and standing in their lot in the last days so that way they may be sealed, all right, according to that, that spiritual, all right, that tav, okay. It says, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So, just like in the days of old, when, these same people, all right, that, in some way, shape, or form, that we've had them in our past lives, and, in some way, shape, or form, we're seeing these same exact people again, fulfilling their lot again. And the men of the Lord are just fulfilling their lot also again. So, it's like a movie. Again, the scriptures, this is a script, this is the Lord's movie, and we're seeing how this audition is planning out to be. Who has been chosen and who has not, who hasn't made the cut. And, Lord willing, we make the cut, man. Lord willing, if it be unto death or it be on the chariot, it's acceptable. It's a acceptable thing for me. All right. So, that's pretty much the lesson. Okay, that, all right, the men of the Lord is going to be basically standing in their lot in the last days, man. And that, everybody is basically doing everything that they once did before, and the prophets are preaching. And, the ones that were in the world are basically doing all those things again, and that it's a privilege and it's an honor to be in the truth. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, Lord willing, I say shalom.